Good evening, you're watching News at 9 p.m. I am Preeti Chaudhary. Our big talking point for this evening comes in from the state of West Bengal, which is election-bound. ED raids at Mamata's election strategists and the agency that the TMC is consulting with for the elections in the next 2 months. Mamata Banerjee calls the Home Minister naughty, says that he is misusing the Enforcement Directorate. ED crackdown or pre-poll narrative building, investigation or intimidation. And a little later, Donald Trump once again unleashes something very new. This time, new unilateral American imperialism. What would be the ramifications of that is something we're going to discuss later on in the show. Fair amounts of action coming in from West Bengal, 2 months away from elections, from raids to resistance to protest marches to barging in to charges flying thick and fast. And files also being taken away. Full-blown fury. The Enforcement Directorate steps into Bengal's political minefield 2 months before elections, raiding poll strategist I-PAC. And Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee doesn't stay on the sidelines. She storms straight into the middle of operation, accuses the ED of theft and turns the probe into a political flashpoint. With allegations of hawala money, cold scam links and claims of evidence being removed, the ED versus Mamata showdown is now out on the streets and is now also headed to court tomorrow. So is this an agency doing its job, or is it politics by other means in election-bound Bengal?
The nasty Home Minister, the naughty Home Minister, who cannot protect the country, and is taking away all my party documents.
The Enforcement Directorate on Thursday raided political affairs consultants, I-PAC, and CM Mamata Banerjee walked straight into the center of the storm. The ED conducted searches at the residence of Pratik Jain, head of I-PAC, which is managing TMC campaign for assembly polls. Simultaneous raids took place at the IPAC office in Kolkata. In a combative move, Mamata Banerjee rushed to Jain's residence while the ED operation was still underway. Moments later, cameras caught her leaving the premises, holding files, images that triggered controversy. From Jain's residence, the Chief Minister went straight to the IPAC office. As the ED search continued, TMC workers were seen removing files from inside the office, igniting a full-blown political storm.
फाइल ले जाई जा रही है यहाँ से। ये फाइल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फाइल्स हैं क्योंकि इस फाइल को लेके छीना झपटी हो रही है और ये फाइल फिलहाल गाड़ी में रखी जा रही है। आप देख सकते हैं मुख्यमंत्री के आने के बाद यहाँ पर पुलिस के अधिकारी कुछ फाइल लेकर आए हैं। ममता बनर्जी के अधिकारी कुछ फाइल लेकर आए हैं। ममता बनर्जी के कॉन्वॉय की गाड़ी है जिसमें ये फाइलें डाली जा रही हैं। ये फाइलें निकाल ली गई हैं।
A visibly angry Mamata Banerjee accused the BJP of weaponizing central agencies to intimidate the opposition ahead of elections.
The candidate list, the party strategy, the party plan. Is it the duty of the ED and Amit Shah? The nasty Home Minister, the naughty Home Minister, who cannot protect the country, and is taking away all my party documents.
The Enforcement Directorate in a statement said the search was linked to a CBI case filed against Anup Maji on November 27, 2020. The ED alleges that a syndicate led by Anup excavated coal illegally from areas leased by Eastern Coalfields. A large part of this coal was allegedly sold to Shakhambari Group of companies. ED alleges tens of crores of rupees were routed to IPAC through hawala route. The agency added that hawala operators were also raided on Thursday. ED has accused Mamata Banerjee of taking away key evidence, including documents and electronic devices from Pratik Jain's residence. ED alleged that Mamata, her aides and police personnel removed documents from IPAC office as well. Mamata Banerjee called on TMC cadre to hit the streets, and party workers responded with protest across Bengal.
Our Chief Minister, head of our party, Honorable Srimati Mamata Banerjee, is fully justified in protecting the property of the party. Mamata Banerjee, as head of our party, is a tigress, and she has gone in and retrieved what is our property, what is our party's political property and political asset.
The BJP hit back sharply, accusing the Chief Minister of obstructing an ongoing investigation.
মুখ্যমন্ত্রী কেন্দ্রীয় সংস্থা সাংবিধানিক সংস্থার কাজে এর আগেও হস্তক্ষেপ করেছেন। নিন্দা জানাই, মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর বিরুদ্ধেও ব্যবস্থা নেওয়া উচিত বলে আমার মনে হয়েছে। সেই ব্যবস্থা তারা আইনের মধ্যে থেকে নেবেন।
In election-bound Bengal, the political showdown is nowhere near its end. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's quickly cut across to the news break that is just filtering in right now from West Bengal. It's been a lot of action in the last 8 hours after ED and then IPAC. Now it is the turn of the Trinamool Congress. The TMC has also moved Calcutta High Court over today's ED raid. Calcutta High Court likely to hear the matter tomorrow. IPAC has sought immediate stay on ED raids. Seeking immediate stay on ED raids is the IPAC. That's the reason why it's approached the Calcutta High Court. It also says that the ED was trespassing. The ED has approached the High Court, viewers, on the grounds that Mamata Banerjee tried to come in the way of an investigation, obstructing an agency to carry out an investigation. And now it's the turn of the TMC that has decided to approach the High Court tomorrow. All of this in the backdrop when Mamata Banerjee will take out a march in protest against the central government for what she says is the misuse of central agencies. Indrajit Kundu joining me live for more. What more can you add, Indro? At one end, you have IPAC going to court on the grounds of halting the raids, suggesting or claiming that it's trespassing. You have ED going to the court saying this is obstructing an agency to conduct a raid, which is Mamata Banerjee coming in the way of that. Why is TMC approaching? On what grounds is TMC going to court? Can you hear me, Indrajit? Indrajit Kundu, can you hear me?
Yes, that's right, Preeti.
Yeah, go ahead,
the
make
Trinamool
your point.
Congress has now approached the Calcutta High Court. Yes, that's right, Preeti. Yes, the Trinamool Congress has now approached the Calcutta High Court. The petition has been accepted. It is listed for hearing tomorrow. Now, this comes after the Enforcement Directorate on its part went to the Calcutta High Court over the entire fiasco that unfolded today in Kolkata. The Enforcement Directorate on its part is saying that there was obstruction and there was, destruction of evidence, papers were snatched away by the Chief Minister and her team. The Trinamool Congress on its part has now also approached the Calcutta High Court, which is likely to be heard tomorrow. It is listed for hearing tomorrow. It's in the single bench of Justice Shubhra Ghosh. And, what we are hearing from sources in the TMC, that they have approached the High Court with the complaint that their, political material, documents pertaining to their party, the Trinamool Congress, that has been, taken by the Enforcement Directorate is what we are hearing. So, it would be very interesting, the kind of hearing that happens at the Kolkata High Court. The tug of war, the political tussle that we saw in all through the day will now have a legal repercussion. So there will be a legal battle inside the Kolkata High Court because the ED has come out sternly. They have accused the Chief Minister and her team of tampering with evidence. That is going to be something which is very, very
obstructing a central agency from conducting its raids. Thank Thank you, Indrajit, for joining us. Well, you know, the last 8 hours have been tumultuous politically, and tomorrow morning it's going to be fought in the court, legally there. While the politics continues, Mamata Banerjee will also take out a march protesting against the central government. Joining me right now from the TMC, Lok Sabha MP Saugata Roy. Mr. Roy, thank you for taking the time out and joining us this evening. We'll come down to what the TMC says, calling this vendetta a witch hunt. But to focus, Mr. Roy, on the charges that are. Now, the charges seem to be grave. It's scam money, which is coal loot, diverted through I-PAC to support and fund your campaign in Goa elections, the last elections in Goa. The charges, prima facie, are grave.
Volume बढ़ो. Bankam. Goa elections were held long time back. The ED suddenly has pounced on IPAC. It's known that IPAC has been our political strategist. It has been our consultant. So this has been happening for a long time. Why do the raid just on the eve of the election? Obviously with political interest. ED and CBI are two arms of the BJP. ED basically has no power. ED is only empowered to deal with PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, the ED, though it is under the Finance Ministry, is used by Amit Shah to threaten political opponents. You just find out from history how many cases has ED secured a conviction. Not one. They are just a handmaiden of Amit Shah and BJP leadership. And this raid today in IPAC office is entirely baseless, buncombe, bogus, and they're showing that ED has done probes on all opposition leaders at different times. Has the ED ever probed a single BJP chief minister?
Okay.
Where any place where BJP government is there? It's a third-class organization being used by a third-class leadership of the BJP.
But
which
Mr.
we totally
Roy,
oppose. We have
let's say
opposed
that this
our
is
Chief
bunkum.
Minister
For
herself.
a moment,
Yes.
let's believe with what your claim is, that it's bunkum, that it is intimidation by the ED at the behest of the central government. You yourself say that the ED has come up with no convictions where it's gone ahead after opposition parties. So use it to your advantage then, Mr. Roy. Milk it politically. If you have nothing to hide, allow them to do the investigation. As you say, they will come up with nothing. Then use it politically. Why oppose it in the manner that we see the Chief Minister of West Bengal barging into the office where an investigation is being conducted and walking out with what many could suggest is material which could be incendiary in nature?
See, what you are suggesting, that we act like good boys and let the ED run amok. No. Tagore used to say, "Onnay je kore ar onnay je shohe, tobo ghrina jeno tare tino samudaye." Whoever does wrong and whoever tolerates wrong, he should be hated. So we cannot just keep quiet. If we did nothing, so they would say, well, TMC is guilty, that's why they have quietly accepted our raid. No, we are not guilty. This coal thing has been raised by ED so many times. People have been arrested, but single conviction has not been obtained. ED is a bogus organization.
Okay.
Run by absolute sycophants of BJP, absolute handmaidens of
Mr.
BJP.
Roy, you're admitting to also playing the bad
So
boy.
we are
I'm just
opposed.
quoting you, sir. You're admitting to also playing the bad boy, and then that's the charge which has come in from the Enforcement Directorate, where you have an ongoing investigation, an ongoing raid, and the Chief Minister of a state barges into that office and comes out with documents which could, like I said, be incendiary in nature, which the ED might want. It's coming in the way of an investigation.
See, ma'am, see, if the ED comes into India Today office and takes away all your news files, wouldn't you protest? Or would you just say, put your hands up and say, ED has done it, ED is holier than thou, so how can I protest? No, that's not Mamata Banerjee's style. She's been known to protest. And IPAC is a political organization, it acts as our consultant, it acts as our advisor. How can we accept? Where is coal smuggling and where is IPAC? They are linking the two, just trying to break our morale. They have done it earlier also, they are doing it again. I totally oppose, I totally run down the ED for this organization. ED as an organization should be abolished. It has done.
But okay, Mr. Roy, you asked a question. You know, I would think we as an organization would allow a central agency to do its job and let it be proven. If you have nothing to hide, let it be proven. But having said that, sir, so you do think that there was absolutely nothing wrong in coming in the way of a central agency dispensing its duties?
Absolutely. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. If the central agency does wrong things, they should not get away with it. They must realize that there are some people who will protest righteously, and that's what we have done.
So one question, protest righteously is different than barging into a building that a raid is currently on in, where the ED is carrying an investigation. What you are well within your rights is what you're doing tomorrow, where the Chief Minister of West Bengal is going to take out a protest march against the central agency, which is ED, which you claim is functioning at the behest of the central government. That is a fair protest. Protest of barging into an office and, you know, barging out with documents
No, why are you saying?
Yes, sir, make your point.
This office is not ED's father's property. It belongs to a political consultant to TMC. Why should we let that happen? We want to discredit ED. You are right, because ED is an organization worth being discredited. That's what we are saying. We are not barging in. You are saying barging in as if it's a property of ED and we are barging in their property. No, ED has barged into IPAC office. What right do they have to barge in IPAC office? No previous intimation. Suddenly they go and barge into somebody's office. No,
Okay.
this way cannot be. India
So,
today
allow me to
also
ask
should
you-
not be rated like. Earlier,
No,
ED
sir.
has done
Allow
this
me to Allow me to ask you one question, because there's a history attached to it. Because many would suggest that there's a fair amount of hypocrisy attached to, Ms. Banerjee accusing BJP of undermining democracy. Many would say that in the past it has been the TMC government which has obstructed many probes, CBI probes. Who can forget what happened in 2009, that entire dharna against the raids on former Kolkata Police Commissioner, Mr. Rajiv Kumar?
Very rightly done.
You think there's nothing wrong in that, sir?
Rajesh Kumar was the best police officer in the state, and then the ED went into his house. Now, if the Chief Minister does not protest, the policemen will all lose their morale, and that was their intention, to browbeat the IAS or IPS officers so that they do not listen to the state government. See,
I'll ask you one final question.
Protesting at that time.
Okay, sir, allow me to ask you one one question, because you say, you know, the coal scam is something which happened, God alone knows when, so there is no ramification of it right now. But the fact is, Mr. Abhishek Banerjee continues to face ED and CBI summons when it comes down to the coal scam, and it's happened over a course of time, over years. So the ED might suggest that it's just trying to close in the loop.
No, they will not close in any loops. They can only do harassment and try to bring a bad name to our party. They have not closed any case. They have not been able to get anybody convicted. It's all, as I said in the beginning, bunkum. It's all figment of ED imagination, the imagination that's triggered by Amit Shah's orders.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Roy, for taking the time out. We appreciate it. You have yourself a good evening ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. You were very sweet in asking questions. Thank you.
I hope the questions were tough, but thank you. I take that as a compliment. Thank you. I just want to quickly, move on and let's just focus on I-PAC for just a brief while, viewers. Because I-PAC is not something which is completely associated when it comes down to the TMC, the Congress, or just the opposition parties. I-PAC has been a political consultant and has, served parties across the spectrum. It actually came into the limelight in 2014, and that was the year that Prime Minister Modi became the Prime Minister of this country. And at that time, I-PAC was under Mr. Prashant Kishore, and he heralded the BJP and helped the BJP to a huge success. So 2014 with the BJP. Bihar Assembly elections 2015. That time it was again with Mr. Prashant Kishore. It was the JDU-RJD alliance which succeeded against the BJP, even though the cult of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi was at its peak in 2015. Let's then go to 2017. Punjab Assembly, once again a huge success. This was when Captain Amrinder Singh became the Chief Minister of Punjab. Let's then go all the way to Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections 2017. And that is when the biggest loss for I-PAC came. There were wins, and then a massive, devastating loss in 2017. And that was where you had, again, the I-PAC under Mr. Prashant Kishore help the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance, and it was an abject failure. Let's move now to 2019 Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections. YSR Congress is what I-PAC supported. Again, at that point of time, Prashant Kishore hadn't moved away from the I-PAC, which he did in the recent past when he started his political career. He has nothing to do with the I-PAC anymore. But in 2019, he was heading the I-PAC. And once again, YSR Congress succeeded in winning the election with the campaign being managed by I-PAC. Let's go on now to Maharashtra Assembly. Lok Sabha 2019, Shiv Sena was consulting with I-PAC and a huge success. Let's now move to 2020, the sweep in Delhi Assembly elections, which heralded the return of Arvind Kejriwal in 2020. I-PAC was consulting with the Aam Aadmi Party, managing their campaign. Let's now go to one of the most high-profile elections, at least that I've covered, which is West Bengal Assembly 2021. It was a pitched battle between the BJP and the TMC. At that time, once again, it was under Prashant Kishore. I-PAC was supporting the TMC, or was consulting. TMC was consulting with I-PAC and managing the campaign of TMC led to a massive sweep, huge win of Mamata Banerjee in 2021. Let's go now to Tamil Nadu Assembly 2021, DMK, huge success. West Bengal Lok Sabha 2024. This is the time where you did not have Prashant Kishore. You had a lot of people who've worked with Prashant Kishore, lots of heads. We're going to delve into that as well. And in 2024, the TMC succeeded. What many would think that the BJP would do very well in West Bengal, then that didn't quite happen. TMC did stupendously well. Let's go to 2024 YSR Congress campaign in Andhra Pradesh, and that was a failure. Even the I-PAC was consulting with YSR Congress. After engineering a win for YSR Congress earlier, it failed to catapult YSR Congress to power in 2024. 2025, once again, Delhi Assembly elections failed for the Aam Aadmi Party consulting with the with IPAC. Now all eyes are on West Bengal Assembly elections 2026. And once again, this time around, it is Mr. Pratik Jain who is heading the campaign for IPAC and helping Mamata Banerjee. His residence has been raided and the IPAC office has been raided. And it is once again consulting with the TMC consulting with the IPAC and Mr. Pratik Jain for the elections that are bound in the next 2 months. So you have a fair idea in terms of that it's not just, like I said, the opposition or the TMC. The IPAC from the BJP has gone all across the spectrum, across the political divide, a political mercenary of sorts. Whoever paid them a decent amount of money, IPAC decided to consult with them as. What is the nature of a political consultancy? No ideology there. But let's quickly cut across to our big questions at the back of what has taken place today in West Bengal. Corruption crackdown or narrative building? You'll have the BJP who will have us believe that what is happening right now is an out-and-out corruption crackdown. You'll have the TMC saying nothing doing. This is narrative building 2 months before election. This is intimidation, not investigation. Have pre-poll raids lost credibility? And we'll tell you why some would think so. There's data to suggest the same. We're going to tell you. And it's a question that one can ponder on. Mamata's outburst to a bid to discredit the ED. She's not the first time that Mamata Banerjee has raised the flag against central agencies which she has claimed have been misused by the central government over years. Is the Bengal Chief Minister trying to block the ED probe? Well, that is what the ED has charged Mamata Banerjee with and is taking Mamata Banerjee to court tomorrow morning. Not that Mamata Banerjee isn't, because TMC has also gone to court, accusing the ED of stealing documents of the party, which is the political assets of the party. IPAC has also gone to court, charging the ED of trespassing. Let's take all these questions, all these scenarios to our guests this evening. I have with me Satendra Singh, former Deputy Director, ED, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Niladri Bhattacharya, political analyst, Mohammad Salim, Senior Leader, CPI. I'd like to begin right now with former Deputy Director of ED, Mr. Satendra Singh. Mr. Singh, the fact is, with what we have seen, especially where elections are bound, states which are election bound, we have seen. Now, nobody's questioning the motive of it, but we are just reporting what we've seen, which has been activity of central agencies. Therefore, the opposition raising the charge that this is all engineered. The larger question being, Mr. Singh, that are investigative agencies today losing credibility?
नमस्ते प्रीति जी, आपको और मेरे को-पैनलिस्ट को नमस्कार. Question is not of the credibility. Actually, the question is of timing of the action by agency. But question, if action is wrong or right, इस पे सवाल नहीं उठाया जा रहा है, टाइमिंग पे सवाल है. अब आप देखिए कोई इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो रहा है, उसमें पता लगता है कि ये मनी ट्रेल को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, कहां तक जा रही है, तो उसी स्टेट जो एक्यूज है, यदि वो पॉलिटिशियन है या किसी पोस्ट पे, तो क्या ये वेट किया जाए कि वहां इलेक्शन ओवर हो जाए तब उसके खिलाफ एक्शन लिया जाए? दिल्ली लीकर स्कैम में बार बार यही सवाल उठाया गया केजरीवाल जी के द्वारा. मुझे भी गुजरात इलेक्शन में जाना है इसलिए मुझे बुला रहे, मुझे वहां जाना है इसलिए बुला रहे. तो क्या कोई उसके बाद जब वो केस चला, कोर्ट्स में चला, तो कहीं भी ये नहीं आया कि ईडी का एक्शन गलत था. टाइमिंग पे सवाल आप पॉलिटिकली उठा रहे हैं. देखिए पॉलिटिशियन की वर्किंग क्या है, 24/7. इलेक्शन भूल जाइए, इलेक्शन कई तरह के इलेक्शन होते हैं स्टेट में, पंचायत इलेक्शन भी होगा, पार्लियामेंट इलेक्शन भी होगा, कभी कुछ होगा. तो पॉलिटिक्स इज ए 24/7 बिजनेस. इसी तरह से जो इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज है, they are on the job for 24/7, and IO will decide कि वह कब सर्च करेगा, कब जो सबसे ज्यादा चांसेस हैं कि वहां एविडेंस मिलने के. अभी कुछ को कह रहे थे कि बिना नोटिस दिए ईडी आ गई. नोटिस दे, एक्यूज को पकड़ने के लिए नोटिस दिया जाता है। चलिए कोई बात नहीं। और आईपैक की जहां तक बात है, मैं उस पे आ रहा हूं, मुझे भी उतनी नॉलेज है जितनी मीडिया में है
जी।
देखिए, ये केस पुराना है लेकिन इसमें सर्चेज चलती रही। अभी नवंबर मंथ में कुछ सर्चेज हुई जिसमें कुछ हवाला ऑपरेटर्स भी सामने आए जो इस मनी को रूट कर रहे थे, जो कि इलीगली कॉल बेचने से जो पैसा मिला, क्योंकि वो लीगल मनी नहीं था कि बैंकिंग ट्रांजेक्शन होते उसके।
जी।
हवाला ऑपरेटर्स को जब देखा गया तो वहां से पता लगा कि आज ही ईडी की प्रेस नोट में कि टेंस ऑफ करोड़ रुपीस आईपैक को ट्रांसफर हुए। तो क्या इसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं किया जाए या वेट करते कि कब इलेक्शन ओवर हो जाएगा तब किया जाए? और मैं एक चीज और
आप कह रहे हैं कि उसमें कोई एक इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, वो चलता रहता है, टाइमिंग को लेकर क्वेश्चन लोग कर रहे हैं पर नहीं करना चाहिए, आप ये कह रहे हैं?
मैं एक चीज और कहना चाहूंगा। 39 इयर्स मैंने ईडी में सर्विस की है। हुआ है हमारे ऊपर भी अटैक भी हुए सर्चेज में, ये भी हुआ कि लोग अंदर घुस के डॉक्यूमेंट उठा के ले गए, इवन एक्यूज को छुड़ा के ले गए। लेकिन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोस्ट पे कोई बैठा हुआ ऐसा करे
तो वो दिक्कत है। चलिए, ये लेट्स टेक ऑल दीस क्वेश्चंस टू आवर let's take all these questions to our other panelists. Sanju Verma, lots of questions there. Nobody's questioning the motive of the ED, but for someone who loves numbers, and I'm very glad that you've come to my show after a very long time, Sanju Verma. So I'll go back into a little bit of history in terms of chronology. I'm not saying there is, and we'll ask our producers to play out those graphics in terms of how Sanju Verma, now is this divine intervention or is this just timing or is it just happenstance? That in the last 10 years, and Sanju Verma, me and my team have actually sat down and looked at data in the last 10 years. Every state that has gone into election, leave alone one, there has been central agency action in the 3 months preceding the polls.
Okay. Preeti, can I start?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes. Nice to be on your show after quite a bit. First, let me say that I was listening to Calcutta Roy and I was appalled at the language that he used. Third-class leadership of BJP. BJP is a third-class party. ED is an organization which is bunkum, bogus, baseless. I will not call Calcutta Roy a third-class leader because he's 78 years old. He's a sitting member of parliament. But Calcutta Roy was not speaking like a senior Trinamool Congress leader. Calcutta Roy was speaking like a sadak chap. But I don't want to turn this debate into a sadak chap debate. Let me get to the moot point. Calcutta Roy and the entire Trinamool bandwagon says, coal scam alag cheez hai, I-PAC is a different case. Why link the two? First thing that your audience needs to know is this. There is coal theft that is happening in Eastern Coal Fields Limited, which is situated in West Bengal. Coal stolen from Eastern Coal Fields is being supplied to factories in Bankura, Purulia, and Bardhaman. These factories are owned by whom? These factories are owned by Deepak Agarwal's company called Shakhambari Ispat and Power. Now, where does I-PAC come in? The money that is made by selling this illegal coal to the Shakhambara Ispat Power Group, that money is routed through a hawala operator. Who is this hawala operator? The man is Pratik Jain. Who is Pratik Jain? Pratik Jain is the karta dharta of I-PAC. How is Trinamool Congress related? I-PAC is now the political consultancy arm for all practical purposes of the TMC. So is there a link between TMC, between Deepak Agarwal, between Pratik Jain, between the stolen coal from Eastern Coal Fields and money laundering? Yes, there is a clear money laundering case that has been established. The third point which I want to make, Preeti, is very important. It is this. The most important reference point in any money laundering case is the Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus Union of India case of 2022. The Supreme Court always says when there is confusion with respect to PMLA cases, refer to the Vijay Madan Lal Chaudhary case, where the Supreme Court has said, while section 16, 17, 18 of the PMLA, the ED has sweeping powers to conduct search and seizure operations. So if Mr. Saugata Roy says that the ED was trespassing, Mr. Saugata Roy has very poor knowledge of the law and needs to educate himself. The fourth point, any accusation under the PMLA, the burden of proof under section 24 lies with the person or entity that is accused. That is under section 24 of the PMLA. So it is not the ED which has to prove that it is doing its job well, which it is.
Fair point.
It is
Okay.
Pratik Jain who has to prove that there was no hawala operation being run on TMC's behalf by him. And my final point is this. Under section 19 of the PMLA, the investigative authority, in this case the ED, has to simply explain why a person has been investigated
Okay.
or arrested after
Okay.
24 hours of the arrest. In this case, arrest has not yet been made. So the ED
Right.
actually has acted very judiciously. And my final point, Preeti, is this. Mamata Banerjee is the same leader who on the 30th of December 2025 had the audacity to tell, "Arey, this Amit Shah is hiding in a hotel. Thank God we've not kidnapped him. Thank God he was allowed to hold a rally. If we wanted, he would not even have come out of his hotel." This is the sadak chap language used by Mamata Banerjee.
Okay.
She has forgotten. She is
All
no
right.
longer
Ma'am,
a
allow me to bring in
protester.
our other
She is
panelists.
a
I want to
sitting
come.
chief minister.
Okay,
No,
ma'am, I want to
Preeti,
cut
1 minute.
across.
Preeti, just 5 seconds. You always
5
tell me,
seconds.
Sanju Verma, I love your debates. You always tell me, Sanju Verma, we need to maintain decorum. Tell me, calling the entire BJP leadership third class, Preeti, do you
Okay.
think Saugata Roy was right?
Ma'am, the point is what I think doesn't really matter, but I will circle back to the question that I
Because
asked you
you're a
about.
journalist.
I will come back, ma'am. Allow me to expand the panel, and I'll circle back to the question that I asked you. Is it chronology? Is it just happens, or is it just timing? Is it happenstance that in the last 10 years, every state that has gone into election, save 2, have seen action of central agencies 2 to 3 months before elections? It's just trivia, a fact, which we'll come back to. Mohammad Salim, senior leader, CPIM, thank you there for joining us. Mr. Salim, what's the take of the CPIM on this? Because your own party have constantly criticized central agency misuse. Where does your party stand today, sir?
You have to make it very clear. Already, many people have pointed out, you yourself also, the timing. You're showing on the screen. Timing is important because, and then prosecution and conviction. So the ED or the CBI have lost its credibility, its public knowledge now. Because in Bengal, before this, there were the questions of this teachers recruitment scam, then this Narda, Sarda, cheat fund scam. But in so many cases, we have found that this drama, theater, high-pitched theater by BJP or TMC or the central government or the state government, there's nothing to do with the people's issues and concerns. You have seen ED and CBI raiding earlier, and this drama by Mamata Banerjee. When it was case of, you mentioned it, Rajiv Kumar's case, Mamata went there when he was the police commissioner. We have seen this when this case of Sandesh Khali. There also, when the CBI went, you have seen how these goons were mobilized and police was mobilized for the criminals. Mamata is famous for, as a chief minister, going to the public, police lockup, and snatching the culprits from the police custody. This is we have seen.
Okay, we are having a bit of a problem with the output of Mr. Mohammad Salim. We're going to try and go back to that. But it's a tightrope walk for the left because political need to criticize Mamata Banerjee and the TMC, and then, of course, what the larger charge has been for them, which is taking on the central government on what they claim is misuse of central agencies. Niladri Bhattacharya ji, the fact is, one can look at the timing, criticize the timing. That doesn't change the nature of the case and the facts on paper. In this particular case, the charges are very, very strong in terms of how it all ties up together. The charge that coal scam money was routed through hawala, through I-PAC, which is a consultancy, to fund a campaign in Goa for your party, the TMC. That's a grave charge, sir, which warrants an investigation. Why has it been brought up suddenly? Some would suggest it hasn't been brought up suddenly because the dots have always been there and they are being connected. You've had the likes of Abhishek Banerjee who've been questioned for years now on the coal scam with both the ED and the CBI. Sir, you're in mute.
It is not the TMC party which is on the dock. It is an investigation into a coal scam. The FIR is of 2020. All the accused are out on bail. And the timing, why it is very important, because we have seen that whenever, especially in Bengal and the non-BJP ruled states, just before the elections, these agencies like CBI, ED and other things, they just wake up. This file was in cold storage. And today morning, they decided that we have to have a raid on IPAC. Because why? JP Nadda also arrived today morning to Calcutta. Please see the chronology. To quote the famous Home Minister, ab chronology samajhiye. JP Nadda arrived in Calcutta today, and today the ED raid starts. Mamata Banerjee is protesting on one thing, that you have a raid on IPAC, but don't try to take away the internal strategies, the party documents of the TMC from the IPAC. IPAC has everything because IPAC has been helping us in 2019 onwards. They have with tremendous success. This is a way narrative of the BJP to have a backdoor entry into the working of the TMC. See, this is a politically bankrupt party. They have realized that they cannot fight us politically.
But, you know, Mr. Bhattacharjee, I'm going to go back to our panelists and I'm going to give everyone, but I want to ask you one thing. You're saying it's a backdoor entry, but the sheer fact for a chief minister, which is a constitutional post, you actually, you know, pun on backdoor entry, take the back door to a building which is being raided by a central investigative agency and you walk out with files.
Priti, don't see her as a chief minister, see her as the head of the party and she's trying to protect her party documents. Why don't you see her?
I don't know how does, no, sir, I don't know how that helps.
You see that
just makes it worse, I would think, because you're also the party president as well as the chief minister. I want to get final comments from all our panelists there. Sanju Verma, I'll come back again. You know, let's say the facts of the case on paper are correct, but the timing of it, Sanju Verma, let me ask you the first question that I asked you. 10 years, every election, opposition parties to the BJP raided 2 or 3 months before an election. Documented facts, Sanju Verma.
Preeti, let's get one thing very clear. Is Arvind Kejriwal, has he been given a clean chit? Manish Sisodia, has he been given a clean chit? Has Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, have they been given a clean chit in the National Herald scam? No. Has Abhishek Banerjee been given a clean chit? Actually, the Supreme Court fined him for wasting the court's time. You know, has Vaibhav Gehlot been given a clean chit by the courts? No. Has Bhupesh Baghel, the former Congress CM of Chhattisgarh, been given a clean chit? No. Being out on bail does not mean that you have been declared innocent by the court. All these leaders who are being probed by the Enforcement Directorate are simply out on bail. No, Preeti, you have to give me 10 seconds more. Can I please take 10 seconds more? I just want to say one thing. When the SSC recruitment scam broke out, naming Partha Chatterjee, the then education minister under Mamata Banerjee, she said, Partha Chatterjee to doodh se dhule hue hain. Finally, Partha Chatterjee was convicted. He's simply out on bail.
Sir, don't talk over each other, please. I'll give you your time.
This is not fair.
Let him. You have 10 seconds, ma'am. Can I just get Sanju Verma? Make your point, Sanju Verma.
Partha Chatterjee out on bail in SSC recruitment scam. Anubrata Mandal, senior TMC leader, out on bail in the cattle smuggling scam. Mamata Banerjee's own nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, out on bail in the teacher recruitment scam. And
all right, I'm running out of time, ma'am.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. I demand through your show that under section 238 and 241 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita for decamping with evidence, destroying electronic evidence, and obstructing public personnel, Mamata Banerjee should be arrested.
Ma'am,
As
the
simple
case
as
is in court tomorrow. The case is in court. I want to bring in
whatever
Mohammed
it
Salim.
is.
You name
Whatever
all
it
the
is.
leaders who've been raided, and the cases are still open. But once again, when it comes down to conviction, once again, I'm just quoting facts, where politicians, politicians are concerned, it's abysmal. It's a 3% conviction of the ED. But again, these are just facts. Mohammed Salim, final comments.
Whether the ED has filed an FIR against Mamata Banerjee and the police commissioner of both Calcutta and Bidhannagar, who obstructed this because they're discharging their own duties? No. Secondly, you're talking about Abhishek Banerjee, Sanju Verma, but why his premises was not raided, even when 300 crores was seized for lifts and bounds company, but they could not. And then the question is, all these culprits are now outside, even in coal scam, even in cattle smuggling case, even in this Anubrata's case, even in the teacher scam case, because ED and CBI with high drama, they build up this, but they failed to collect evidence and prove it and prosecute it.
They have not
Tomorrow
been
in the
declared
court, we'll
innocent,
find
sir.
out. Now also,
Okay.
today,
They're all on
after
trial.
these 8 hours, why
All
FIR
these
was
people
not
are
lodged?
still on.
It should have
Okay,
been
fair
lodged again. What Mamata did is a blatantly illegal thing. Then it is government file. Why government file was there inside this Pratik Jain's case? Pratik Jain may be a client, maybe a master of the TMC, maybe a consultant.
Okay, fair
But why
point.
government files? You have seen the government
Nilandri
files were there.
Bhattacharya ji, final
Because
comments. I
in
need to
the
take a break
FIR
there.
case,
Go ahead.
no, in the election
Please
corruption
understand.
case, these
Mr.
consultancy
Salim, hold
companies
on.
are
Fair point,
Please
sir.
mercenaries.
understand,
They are mercenaries.
2013
They are not
Canada case came.
consultants now.
So
Till today,
we said all
all the
consultants are political mercenaries. Go ahead, make your point.
all this. Preeti, from 2013, 14, this political bickering has started. Until now, in all the none of the cases, either the CBI or the ED has filed the final charge sheet. They just want to linger and keep the issue open. And as far as Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary is concerned, in the 2023 judgment, that judgment has been watered down by subsequent judgments of the Supreme Court. ED and CBI don't want to close the case. They are not interested in investigating. They're only interested in flogging a dead horse because they want to keep these issues alive for elections. There's no charge sheet.
Okay.
And as far as the conviction rate of ED is concerned,
Stop
it is
lying
less
on
than
national
2%.
television.
All right, I'm gonna
Yes,
leave.
and I'm speaking facts. I'm
Okay, I'm going
speaking
to leave it
facts.
be.
Sanju
Okay,
Verma,
thank
man, I'm
you.
speaking
I
facts
appreciate
because
all four of you for taking the time out and joining us. The issue's not over. Tomorrow is another day. We'd love to have you back. But let's listen in right now to one of the country's most prominent lawyers, Mahesh Jethmalani, who's launched a scathing attack on Mamata Banerjee in conversation with my colleague Maria.
The elections in Bengal are on the anvil, not very far away. And given the stakes which are there, is this not really indicative of what the Chief Minister is saying, that this could be a potential witch hunt?
I was in a witch hunt, Maria, with respect. I don't understand that question because this is an investigating agency, right? And it's too early to say whether it's a witch hunt. They have information, right, regarding the commission of offenses under the PMLA. They're duty bound to investigate it. All they've done is gone there and asked for documents. If the documents are innocuous, why would you come there with police officers and snatch them away? You've committed house trespass and theft and criminal intimidation. Which chief minister does that? Other chief ministers have been subjected to investigations and inquiries by the ED, but they don't behave in this manner. I mean, Mamata always behaves. Last time she did it with Shahjahan Sheikh. I mean, the TMC did it. They caused grievous injury to 3 ED officers. I mean, you're not at war with the center. You're electoral allies. But all right, I mean, you know, it's not as if Mamata Banerjee hasn't arrested BJP party members and so on and so forth. It's not as if she doesn't use the police to do the same thing.
Mr. Jethmalani, Mamata Banerjee, knowing how she has often used these issues to her advantage, she's again playing the victim card. See, she's saying that this is what the Central Home Ministry is doing to try and capture Bengal because they cannot win in the People's Court.
Well, perhaps she... No, but what is the people's court? Ultimately, voters, right? The voters will decide the perception. She has a perception. There's another perception on the other side. Ultimately, going to the polls is the question of deciding by the voters which perception is correct. If this is a witch hunt, they will not vote the BJP in. If they feel that Mamata is running away from crimes, they will vote her out, assuming that everybody takes crime seriously in West Bengal.
All right, the matter now is in court tomorrow, where all three parties, TMC, Enforcement Directorate and I-PAC, have approached the court, while politically there is, on the streets, you have the TMC, Mamata Banerjee, taking out a protest march against the central government and central agencies, and the BJP as well against Mamata Banerjee and the TMC. A quick celebrations today erupted in Jammu after the National Medical Commission withdrew MBBS approvals for Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Institute of Medical Excellence. The move followed complaints and a surprise inspection that flagged infrastructure and compliance gaps. While the Sangharsh Samiti is hailing it as a victory, students and families are distraught, saying they are being punished.
Celebrations erupted in Jammu after the National Medical Commission withdrew MBBS approval for Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Institute of Medical Excellence amid a row over admission of Muslim students. This comes following multiple complaints and a surprise inspection by the NMC, which found alleged violations of norms and non-compliance with minimum standards. Sources tell India Today that the inspection team flagged deficiencies in infrastructure, bed strength, patient load, office and academic spaces, and noted that hostel facilities were makeshift. Students and their families have expressed disappointment, calling the action unjust.
अच्छे से पढ़ा रहे थे हमें, फैकल्टीज बहुत अच्छी थी. अब शिफ्टिंग का हमें नहीं पता, एकदम से हमें नोटिस आया कि कॉलेज बंद हो रहा है. तो वो ऐसे हार्ट ब्रेकिंग सी न्यूज़ थी वो काफ़ी.
ये डिसीजन हमारे जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के लिए बहुत नुकसानदायक है और हमारे लिए स्टूडेंट्स हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसानदायक है. हम बहुत दुखी हैं.
हमें ये गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से आया कि हमें दूसरे मेडिकल कॉलेजेस में शिफ्ट कर दिया जाएगा, तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत डिसहार्टन थे हम सब इस डिसीजन को लेके.
Out of the 50 students admitted to the college on the basis of NEET, last year 42 were Muslims and 8 were Hindus. There had been protest against the medical college over the admissions. A BJP delegation and members of the Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Sangharsh Samiti had met Union Health Minister JP Nadda. The Sangharsh Samiti, which had led the agitation against the college, is celebrating the NMC's decision, calling it a victory for their struggle.
संघर्ष समिति का ये एक आंदोलन था जिसकी आज जीत को हम सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए यहाँ पर इकट्ठे हुए हैं. तो ये वाला आंदोलन समाप्त हुआ है, लेकिन संघर्ष समिति का संघर्ष समाप्त नहीं हुआ है.
The activists of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Sangharsh Samiti have erupted in joy here in Jammu. You can see that the activists are celebrating, they are dancing to the tunes of drum beats. They are also showing victory sign. The agitation, the 45-day agitation of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Sangharsh Samiti has been successful, and now the activists of the Samiti are celebrating this occasion.
Jammu and Kashmir CM Omar Abdullah took a jibe at the celebrations.
यहाँ मेडिकल कॉलेज को बंद करने की लड़ाई लड़ी गई. ये आपने जम्मू कश्मीर के बच्चों के मुस्तकबिल के साथ खिलवाड़ किया. अगर बच्चों के मुस्तकबिल को तबाह करने की आपको खुशी महसूस हो रही है तो फोड़िए पटाखे.
As the controversy continues, the question remains, is the closure of a medical college something to rejoice? Could the government have explored other solutions? With Sunilji Bhatt, Bureau Report, India Today.